limitations of primitive data types. So, what are the limitations of primitive data types? By using primitive data types, we cannot store multiple values in continuous memory location. This is the major limitation of our primitive data type. We cannot store multiple values in continuous memory location. Due to this limitation, we face some problems. Like, for instance, if we want to store multiple values, like I want to store from 1 to 100, we must create 100 variables. All those 100 variables are created across JVM at different locations. We will see how we can do this. I will show you with memory diagram what is the problem. So, and also variables we cannot pass as values to the remote computer with single network. It increases burden on network and also increases lines of code in our program. This is the major problem with primitive data types, to store multiple values. So I will make a note about this, what we have discussed till now. So you will get clear-cut idea. Using primitive data types, we cannot store multiple values in continuous memory location. So due to this limitation, we face below two problems. What are those? We will discuss now. First, we will discuss about problem 1. Problem 1. What is problem 1? We have discussed just now. If we want to store multiple values for an instance like 1 to 100, we must create 100 variables. All those 100 variables are created across JVM, but at different locations. So when we want to retrieve those values, it will be more problematic and it takes more time. This is a major problem with primitive data types when we store multiple values. First, I will make a note about this. Then I will explain you with memory structure, so you will get clear-cut idea. For instance, if we want to, instance is nothing but a object. For a single object or a variable, if we want to store multiple values like 1 to 100, we must create 100 variables all those 100 variables are created across JVM at different locations. I will show you with memory structure. So this is our memory structure. What I want to do here is I want to store multiple values like byte b1 is equal to 1 and byte b2 is equal to 2, byte b3 is equal to 3, byte b4 is equal to 4. Like this, I want to create some 100 byte b 100 is equal to 100. So all these multiple values I want to store in my memory location inside JVM. How it will store inside memory we will see now. This is my memory location structure. So inside this memory location structure, whatever the multiple values we are storing, it will store in different memory locations. Like 3 will be stored in first location, and 5 will be stored in some location, and 100 will be stored in some location, and 40 will be stored in some location, 69 will be stored in some location. This is how JVM creates memory location for our multiple values inside our computer. So whenever we store multiple values, it will store like in different memory locations. So if we want to retrieve these values, it will be more problematic and it takes more time to retrieve. Retrieve is nothing but to get the data, it takes more time because it is not in continuous memory location. This is the major limitation of primitive data types. We will see problem 2 now. Problem 2. So what is problem 2? And also using variables we cannot pass all values to the remote computer with single network. Single network call, which increases burden on network and also increases lines of code in program. This is a major problem of primitive data types. Using variables, we cannot pass all values to the remote computer. Remote computer is nothing but a, for example, I will show you with diagram what is the major problem. For example, we have two computers which is remotely connected. This is client computer. This is server computer. In client computer, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, some values still 100. So I'm having 100 variables. So whenever a request is getting from client, network calls will be more because each value will be forwarded to server from one network call. From one network call, only one variable value will be passed from client computer to server computer. For second variable, again it will use network call to server computer. For third variable, again network call will be requested from client computer to server computer. So as many variable values we are storing, network calls will be increased. For 100 variables, 100 network calls will be forwarded from client computer to server computer. This increases network calls. Network calls. Network calls will be increased. So to pass 100 values, it consumes 100 network calls. This is a major limitation with our primitive data type. So I want to send this 100 values with only single network call from client computer to server computer. This increases our network speed in our web application. So what is the solution to these two problems? To solve above two problems, we must group all values to send them as a single unit from one application to another application as method argument or a return type. How we can send, we will see in our methods topic. So to group them as a single unit, we must store them in continuous memory location. So if you want to store all these variable values or any combination of values to store in continuous memory location, this can be possible by using reference data types like we have array or class. By using array or class, you can store variable values in continuous memory location. First, we will make a note about this. Solution. What is solution? To solve above two problems, we must group all values to send them as single unit from one application to another application as method argument or return type. So to group them as a single unit, we must store them in continuous memory locations. This can be possible by using referenced data types. Referenced data types like array or class. So to solve above two problems, we must group all values to send them as a single unit from one application to another application. To group them as a single unit, we have to use array or class. So now you got a clarity when we have primitive types, why we have reference types in our Java. Because reference types are given to store multiple values in continuous memory locations, to retrieve data in quick time, and to pass all values with single network call. Because of this reason, we have reference types in our Java. We will make a note about this so you will get some clarity. Why referenced types are given when we have primitive types. This is the question. All these questions are asked by my previous students. So based on that experience to me, I'm explaining to you directly. So you will not get any conflicts. Your time will be saved. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me and you can message me. Then I will clarify your doubt, and the doubt or any question I will explain to you in video lecture. Then it will be useful for future students. Referenced types are given to store multiple values in continuous memory locations, to retrieve data in quick time, and also to pass all values in a single network call. So students will ask this type of questions to me. That's the reason I am explaining to you in video lecture itself, so you will not get more doubts. And some students will get doubt like why 4 reference types are given. We will discuss about that. Why 4 referenced types are given. So to collect only homogeneous and also heterogeneous types of value, 4 reference types are given. Homogeneous and heterogeneous is nothing but same type of values and different types of values. We will learn about this in our collections API, collections framework briefly. Answer is to collect only homogeneous and also heterogeneous type of values, we have four reference types. Homogeneous and heterogeneous are nothing but same types of values and different types of values. Types is nothing but data types. Next, we will see about arrays. We will see how array will work in our Java. Next, we will see about arrays. So, what is array?